Thank you so much, Dr. Peters. So our next speaker is Newton Lee. Newton Lee is an author, educator, and futurist. He was the founder of Disney Online Technology Forum, creator of AT&T Bell Labs' first ever commercial artificial intelligence tool, and inventor of the world's first annotated multimedia OPAC for the U.S. National Agricultural Library. He is chairman of the California Transhumanist Party, education and media advisor to the United States Transhumanist Party, and president of the 501c3 nonprofit Institute for Education, Research, and Scholarships. Please give a round of applause for Newton Lee.
Thank you. Good. Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you, and it's my honor to be here. This is a beautiful university and beautiful Tennessee. So I come from California, Los Angeles. So the official title on the program book is, What Does Jesus Teach Us About Benevolent, Can you help me with that, please? Benevolent, thank you. Transhumanism. Thank you so much. So because the word is hard for me to pronounce, as you know, I was born in other countries. So I changed the title to something easier. Okay. So why should Christians care about transhumanism? Thank you. I know, I'm weird, but anyhow. So let's start. Yes, sometimes I have trouble with pronunciation, but hopefully, you can understand what I'm talking today. All right. So the old question is, if you had one day left to live, what would you do? Now with transhumanism, the new question becomes, if you could live 1,000 more years, what would you do with all that time? That's a good question. I ask myself too. So what is the most precious thing that you can give to somebody? Time. Yes, that's right. Very good. So that's a movie in time. Okay, you're laughing about it. I don't know why, but so time is money, literally. You give your lifespan, part of your lifespan, to buy things. You can give to your friends, to your loved ones. I like this movie. So we really put things into perspective. What things are worth your time? What things are worth your life? Now, transhumanism, we're talking about transforming ourselves, augmenting ourselves, make us live longer, make us live more healthy. So in a movie, Ghost in the Shell, basically the two detectives were talking about things. As one detective says, "Oh, what, I got a cybernetic liver," and the other guy says, "Well, you got an enhanced so that you can drink more." Okay. So I know it's funny, but basically to say, if we are going to live 1,000 more years, are we going to use the time to serve Jesus, or are we going to waste the time to serve ourselves? Okay. Now, in the book of 2 Kings, we look at King Hezekiah. Is that right? Hezekiah, thank you, Hezekiah. See, pronunciation. Okay, Hezekiah. So Hezekiah was a good king, but he became ill and he was dying. In fact, the prophets came to him and said, "You're going to die." But then he begged God. He says, "No, I have been good to you. Why do I need to die? I want to live longer." And God says, "Okay, I'm going to give you longer life. You can live 15 more years." So he lived 15 more years, and he became proud. He showed off all his kingdom's wealth to the envoys from Babylon. And also fathered a son who became a king at 12 years old because, he died after 15 years. So, and the king became one of the worst kings in history of Israel. And he led the kingdom into ruins. So, it's a warning. It's a story. It's a real story, and it's a warning. And so what are the roles of Christians in today's world? no, we're going to talk about transhumanism a little later, but what about now? Well, the age-old question is, why do God allow suffering? Why do good people have to suffer? Right? That's always in our mind, right? So I think if you look at the book of Job, you understand that, well, God wants to teach us something. We want to learn. But human beings are very slow learners. As we can see, we're World War I and then we're World War II. Hopefully, we're not going to have World War III. But it's a humanity's growing pains. As you can see around the world, okay, there are countries, there are places that there's so much food, so much abundance, but then people abuse it, and we become, obesity. Thank you. So obesity gives us a lot of diseases like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, heart attack. In fact, heart attack is the #1 killer in America. So on the other hand, we have people who are suffering from malnutrition, from hunger, and they're also dying. Okay, so what's happening here? I call it the humanity's growing pains. We are evolving, as Tess says. Okay, that was a great presentation, by the way. We are evolving. It's a growing pains, but are we learning our lessons? Are we progressing as a result? So then if you look at the transhumanist world, what kind of world are we creating to ourselves and for our great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren, assuming that we're going to live 1,000 years? So are we going to create a world or, have the world still divided at war? Are we going to have a world united in peace? Okay, religion is affecting everybody. So religion can be a very powerful force for peace, but it can also be a force for war, as we can see, over a long, long time. So Billy Graham gave a TED talk on technology, faith, and human shortcomings. So basically, you can read this quote. Basically, he's saying that technology, can be good, but also people can use technology for really bad things. Well, for example, we have nuclear energy, which is good. Well, assuming that we can, make sure it's safe from earthquakes and other things. But of course, we have also nuclear bombs and mass destruction weapons. Now, there we have a rescue drone, but of course, we also have killer drones. And then we have 3D printers, printing human organs, but we can also use it to print weapons, guns. And with big data, artificial intelligence, all the new technology we have, our smartphones in our pocket, we can use them for good things. But again, governments can use them to control people. And of course, artificial intelligence. When I was at AT&T Bell Laboratories, my job was to teach the computers to mimic human beings. It's called knowledge engineering. Knowledge engineering meaning that you want to collect knowledge from experts and try to mimic how experts think and do. And as a result, you have AI that can perform at human level. Now, but everybody knows about Google DeepMind AlphaGo, right? Yes? Maybe? AlphaGo? Okay. So AlphaGo, basically, again, learn from people, the master chess Go players, and then it basically outperform people. But then the AlphaGo Zero goes one step beyond. It says, forget about human beings altogether. We are going to be better than all human beings in the world. It's making gameplay on its own. It's learning on its own without human knowledge. So we go beyond knowledge engineering to something new, a new creature. Okay, so that's why some people are afraid of artificial superintelligence. But it's bound to happen. I can guarantee you, it's already happening. Now, right now, it's in very narrow domains. Whether it's really good in playing chess, playing Go, really good in diagnostic medical problems. In pharmacology, I did an expert system on pharmacology when I was at Virginia Tech. So these are narrow domains. But if you look at IBM Watson, right, it's trying to branch out to general knowledge. But then again, there will come a time where AI, with quantum computing, is going to surpass human intelligence in solving problems. I'm not saying that AI will become, spiritual. Okay, that's another topic. Okay, computers are different from people because they have no desire. They have no desire at all, right? They're just there to serve people right now. Okay, so artificial general intelligence is going to happen. So I like the Justice League, the movie, and Wonder Woman was saying that technology is like any other power. Without reason, without heart, it destroys us. It can be dangerous. And Max Tegmark at MIT talked. He wrote that the future is ours to shape. I feel we are in a race that we need to win. It's a race between the growing power of technology and the growing wisdom. We need to manage it. So it's interesting. If you look at Google's life science research organization, VIRI, in 2015, they had 350 scientists. And on staff, they hired a full-time philosopher. Okay? And the CEO, Andy Conrad, said, we have to understand the why of what people do. A philosopher might be as important as a chemist. So I would say that not only do we need a philosopher, we also need a theologian. Thank you. We also need a theologian. So, Ted. There you go. Yes. So, I teach computer science. I wrote a book about computer science called Google It. Okay. I don't know why you guys are laughing, but it's funny. Okay. Now, I teach computer science. And CS plus X means computer science plus humanities or art or music or religion, whatever else that's not computer science, not technology related. And in my book, I talked about a more well-rounded higher education is necessary to graduate more ethical hackers and fewer cyber criminals, more socially responsible leaders, and fewer wolves of Wall Street, more gender equality, less sexism, more open-mindedness, and less discrimination. And it's funny because it's a computer science book, and yet I devoted almost 100 pages in talk about religion, especially Christianity. It's very unusual, I know. But the publisher didn't mind, so okay. So, in a sense, transhumanism is, transhumanists are building the Tower of Babel, if you think about it seriously. So a Christian transhumanist, our responsibility is to make sure that the Tower of Babel is not because we want to challenge God, but we want to better understand the universe and the human beings that were created in the image of God. In a sense, the Tower of Babel gives us the insight, give us the power to reach out and get closer to God. Okay, because as you know, a lot of young people are getting away from God these days. They focus on computers, the cell phones, and they have their own mind. They are really getting away from God. But transhumanism is actually very interesting because it's a way for us to bring people, especially young people, back closer to God. And in the book of Revelation, has a warning that says, I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you're lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth. It's a very stern warning. So a lot of times we study computer science, we do this and that. We don't really care. Okay, we go to church, yes, we pray, we read the Bible. But then, it's not cold, it's end time. Oh my goodness, that's a book of Revelation, end time. So, okay, there's a new book coming out called Transhumanist Handbook, It's almost done. This is not the cover image, but the reason that I put it there is because Lincoln Cannon wrote a chapter for Google It, and he's also revising a chapter for the new Transhumanist book. And Micah also wrote a chapter for this upcoming book. Thank you so much. So we're going to leave you with Einstein's quote. Basically, all religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. These all aspirations are directed towards ennobling human life, lifting it from the sphere of mere physical existence and leading the individual towards freedom. And this is a freedom that we are enjoying today, and we are free to do good or do evil. We are free to do our own things or to get closer to God and learn from Jesus. Because Jesus is the example of what a better human being is. And we can all be better human beings. And transhumanism is one way to get there, to help us to get there because of technology and medical advances and so on. And so, so before I end, if you want to talk to me about the new book, I have rooms for other chapters for additional material. So please let me know. Okay, thank you very much.